In this tutorial, we're going to talk about cleaning up photographs. We're going to concentrate mainly on the skin areas. This is a technique that's used in a lot of major magazines. It's called airbrushing, which you actually don't even use an airbrush. So let's get started. Here's a pretty decent image. It actually looks fine zoomed out for the most part. But when we zoom in, you can see a lot of, shiny portions on the skin. You can see discoloration of the skin. And we basically just want to clean that out. A lot of this that you got to really understand is that it's very subtle. It's really just to give it that extra little bit of polish. And if you have a really bad image to begin with, this tutorial probably won't help you that much. This is for a technique for taking a photo or taking a picture from a professional and just kind of cleaning it up a little bit more. This really won't work all that great with ultra amateur shots, especially if something's got a lot of flash photography and there's a lot of unevenness in the skin tone. This really isn't about fixing those types of pictures. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is make a copy of this layer. Once we do that, let's hide the underlying layer and select our top layer. Next thing you do is grab an eraser. Okay. Now we start erasing everything on this layer except for her skin. And for this tutorial, I'm not going to get too crazy with how exact I get it. But you basically want to take all the portions of the graphic that are not skin and get them off there. And I mean, you can get pretty crazy with this. For our tutorial, we're not going to get too crazy. You actually even want to get the eyes, take the eyes out. Even take the eyebrows out. And the lips. You just basically want just the main skin tone to be left behind. It's a little tedious, but it goes pretty quick. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so now once you have that, what you have to do is with your effects panel, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur, and we're just going to blur her skin just a little bit. Okay, so what that did now is it gave a nice even kind of uniform. It kind of hid all the blemishes. But by taking out the other stuff, we didn't lose any of the detail. Her lips and eyes are still shiny, her hair is still crisp, and we can even exaggerate that further by adding a sharpen to the underlying level. So I'm going to try that now. You don't want to put too much of a sharpen on, but one should do it. Okay, so when we get close, you can notice that there's still too much of a contrast. What we want to do is just bump this down, this Gaussian blur down just a little bit, so it looks a lot more natural. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's very subtle, but it's a very quick way to get that nice polish. It evens out the skin tones, and it really softens up the general look of the image.